Well, we didn't have a problem with feeling, threatened or any problems like that. You see, because our uncles really set the trend as relates to identifying us or who we were and was at that time. People wouldn't come at us like that. We did have one incident now.
Which was that?
Well, I got kidnapped.
Tell us about that.
Well, it was a person made an order.
How much?
It was a lot. So I delivered the order myself. Usually don't, because I had a female working with me who usually do my
This is the person you had been dealing with?
But this is, I don't want to say the name.
What was the person you'd been dealing with?
No.
Oh.
But it was a person who was indirectly, I knew.
He was somebody in the streets or whatever.
No, it was somebody indirectly that I knew that was related in the family.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Through marriage, like that. So.
What year was this?
I can't.
Roughly 79, 80 or something.
It had to be about 78, 79, somewhere up in there, I believe. Yeah, around there. About 78, 79, yes.
And tell us what happened.
Well, I made the delivery.
Where at?
It was North End. It was North
You're
End.
bringing what? A couple thousand rams to the North End?
Yeah.
And North End now is at the edge of kind of the gentrification, and that's still not nice, was not as bad. But at that time, that would have been one of the most dangerous, probably, neighborhoods in America.
Well, yeah, a lot of them was dangerous. I had no problem going in them or slipping in them and slip out.
Why wouldn't you have a guy like that come meet you at a hotel in Southfield or just somewhere a little more? Or that was everyday business, going to drop off?
No. Remember, I had my other people. I had a female who would do most of my deliveries and pick up from YBI and Pony. But again, this is a person who is indirectly connected to the family.
So you feel it's zero risk.
So, yeah. And the way, they betrayed themselves and how they were sounding, I was lax. And that's what cost me.
What's the mechanics of what happened that day? Like what?
Well, I went to make the delivery, as I said, and waiting on the money. I hand over what the order was, and it was a stick up. And they say, no, we want more. So they wanted me to call and make a bigger purchase.
Oh, to ask for more to be
Ask for more to be sent. And so.
What doc you had to call, or just wherever the stash was?
No, I had to call. Who did I call? Because Doc was out of town. I believe it was my uncle.
Oh, so they were still.
They're still around. And, that was the wrong person to call. So he brought the order was. And that's how I was able to be released. Because they came for what they did. They came full force and they.
You got released.
And I got released. They released me.
And this isn't an incident that law enforcement ever knew about?
No, we never got involved with them. We took care of our own business. They used to try to beat us there or try to catch us, but they never could.
We used to pick up about $1 million.
From Seal?
From Seal or wherever he designate one of my people to go get the money.
So Seal alone.
But this time I was going to see Seal about that and maybe some other business. And just so happened I was going to pick up the money that day.
If you're from Detroit, I'm sure you're familiar with Young Boys Incorporated, YBI, and another group from that same era, Pony Down. Now, Pony Down and YBI were made out by the newspapers and street gossip to be at odds with each other, which they were at the street level, but when you find out more, the story's a little different. Turns out both groups were working out of the same bag, as they say most of the time, and most of that time, that same bag was from the Davis brothers. Now, here's a quick story about that one time when Doc Davis went down to the Jeffersonian Apartments to pick up about $700,000 from Sylvester Seal Murray, main supplier to YBI, who himself was considered to be perhaps the largest H dealer in the entire Midwest by federal law enforcement, as at the time they didn't even know who the Davis brothers were.
And the only person I knew was Seal of the YBI. I didn't know Butch Jones, all the underlings. I didn't know them at all. And just one day, I was going by the Jeffersonian. He had a apartment in the Jeffersonian. It was a high-rise, very nice apartment building on Jefferson near downtown Detroit. And as I was going up the elevator, I sensed, and my gut felt.
When you say very nice, this is where maybe a high-ranking Ford executive,
Right, lawyers, judges, and all that would be. It was
the place.
It was the place, the Jeffersonian.
And he was on one of the top floors.
He was on one of the top floors. Yes, he was. And I was going up there to pick up some money.
How much money?
Maybe I think it was about $700,000, if my memory don't fail me. I think it was about $700,000.
And how often would you pick up those volumes of money from someone like Seal? Once a week?
Well, once a week we used to, like I said, we used to pick up about $1 million
From Seal?
From Seal or wherever he designate one of my people to go get the money.
So Seal alone.
But this time I was going to see Seal about that and maybe some other business. And just so happened I was going to pick up the money that day. And just so happened it was a raid taking in place. They just missed me being there, sitting there in there for maybe seconds.
You were really the guy.
Right, right. That was the man then.
The Jeffersonian raid didn't result in Seal Murray's arrest just yet. Seal wasn't in the apartment. Perhaps he had the same bad feeling Doc did. Seal's associate was seen jumping from balcony to balcony on the 27th level, and I guess he was taken into custody. And in that guy's apartment, there was about a half a pound of H found that was 71% purity, and the DEA chemist at the time testified that out of 500 samples he had processed in his career, less than 20 had been that strong. And that's what was in Seal's apartment. Presumably he got it from Doc Davis. Now there was about $800,000 in cash seized from Seal's apartment and the other guy's apartment at the time, and the DEA said, circa 1982 when this happened, that was the largest cash seizure they had ever made.
Yeah, it was in the news. It was in the news. I don't know how much money was in the apartment, but I know at least that 700 was in there because I was coming by there to pick that up. Oh, wow. So I don't know what he had in there, but my gut feeling said something was wrong, and I just turned around and went back down the elevator and went on and escaped.
So if the feds are doing this big raid, or the Joint Task Force are doing this big raid, they must have had a bunch of people around. It wasn't suspicious that you get out of a car, go up, go down. Didn't they track you? So you weren't on the radar. They didn't know.
No, I wasn't on the radar then.
They didn't know you were Seal Supplier.
Right. They didn't know I was Seal Supplier. And the Jeffersonian's a very large apartment building. It was a big high rise. I mean, they would have to have agents all around. And I would slip right past them because they would have thought I was just a young kid. So I missed. Yeah, I missed that raid, and I'm glad.
Several other raids followed that one. Two of them on Tracy Street near 7 Mile northwest of Detroit. One of those raids got $600,000 in cash, and yet that didn't stop Seal's operation. It didn't stop the Davises. It sure didn't stop YBI. And that gives truth to the old saying in the street, there's no business like blow business. Because if you're getting H from overseas and you're stepping on it and putting it on the street, but the profits margin is so astronomical, you can lose $500,000 here, $1 million there, 300,000 there. Doesn't matter. Just get some more. The markup is so vast. What does it feel like to see something that, like, oh shit, that was meant for me, on the front page of the paper? Is that a weird? The next day, like,
You feel good. You feel good because you have to worry about having to pay lawyers, you go to jail, and be caught with a large sum of money. So it's a good feeling. It's like a natural high. It's a good feeling.
Were you fearful in those initial days of Seal or whoever saying, oh, that was Reggie's dope, or no?
No. At that, he wouldn't do that because if he had did that, he would have got cut off. But he wouldn't have did it anyway. Seal wouldn't have did anything like that anyway, because the quality of dope that he was getting from us, it was better than the Dago's dope. I mean, I imagine he was getting dope from other people, but the best dope he was getting it from the Davis family.
And talk about this. Your operation was able to take those type of lickings and keep on ticking without missing a beat,
Just because the price I was paying for it in Bangkok,
which was
$3,500 a pound, and then it went up.
Tell us about the 500-gram thing. For if anybody was talking about they were getting kilos.
They lying because the Thais don't deal in kilos. They only deal in pounds, no matter how many you get. But they deal with the different measuring system, the metric system. They deal, instead of 448, they deal 500. And back then, it was spoons instead of weight. And the 97.4 Heroin is so light, you get 360 quarter spoons in 1 kilo. So a person like Seal or a person like Gun could take 1 kilo and make a meal. But if he gets something that's heavier, which is less quarters, like 200 and some quarters, they only can make about 700,000. But the stuff that they was getting from us would mixed up the stuff, they had more quarter spoons. It was 360 quarter spoons in 1 kilo of it.
Let me break the math down. So a kilo is costing you roughly
Pounds.
Well, I'm just saying.
Okay, you can say it like that for.
So it's 7,500 plus 7,500. It's costing you about 15,000.
Right.
There's certain expenses involved in getting into the US.
Right. Because I was saying I would get about 10 women, send them on a tour to an island. I would send them on a tour to an island. And they would rent a villa and all of them be together.
And then the Bahamas?
In the Bahamas or
so you'd have to go from Thailand to the Bahamas.
Thailand to the Bahamas, or Thailand to Jamaica, or Thailand to Ghana.
So then you have a group of churchy looking sort of
older women,
going on a tour.